hello, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Welcome to the meeting of online presenters, a virtual Toastmasters Club. I'm Sergeant at Arms, Dr. Sunny Fridge, aka Dr. Sunny. Guests, please note to be a member of our club, you must be a current or former active member of Toastmasters International and have completed at least 6 Toastmasters official speeches. If you have substantial relevant presentation experience, we welcome you to apply for membership after demonstrating your abilities in a 2 to 3 minute speech delivered during one of our club meetings. All requests for membership are subject to approval by our club members. Guests, if you have not already done so, and members, please change your panel to ensure it displays your name and, if applicable, your role. Hover over your video, right-click, and select Rename. And remember, please mute your microphone when you're not speaking. We have members and guests from many countries throughout the world. As a professional organization, we ask that you please be aware of language or word usage that may be considered offensive or otherwise insensitive due to cultural differences. Please note that we are recording this meeting. Your video and audio contribution may be used for club marketing purposes. And now, please help me welcome to the virtual stage our club president.
Well, thank you, Dr. Sunny. Good evening, everyone. I'm Marianne Grady, and I am so happy to have you all with us tonight. Our theme tonight is pretty exciting. It's World Creativity and Innovation Day. So we were talking before the meeting started about things and how we've used our creativity to solve problems. Pretty interesting conversations. Now, tonight is not a typical meeting. We're going to have our club elections, and it's really important as Toastmasters that we step up into the leadership positions. And David and I have put our heads together and come up with a slate of officers. But if you would like to get involved, please feel free to throw your hat into the ring, and we'll just have a little runoff there. And it's something we truly do encourage, and you learn a lot when you're in club leadership. So please stay tuned for the election. And just so everyone knows, we do have quorum already. So we are ready to conduct a legit election, let's say that. An announcement next week on Monday, we're going to have the world champion of public speaking, Luisa Montalvo, here. And so that's pretty exciting for us. And I hope that you'll come in to watch her and listen to her, because obviously she knows what she's doing. And I want to let everybody know that our club mission is we serve those who give online presentations professionally or those who aspire to do so. And it could be public webcasts, live video, internal company video conferences, or screen sharing sessions. And if you do those things, you're in the right place. So I am ready to pass it along to our Toastmaster of the day, the founder of the club, and the birthday boy, David Carr. Please welcome David.
All right. Thank you, Marianne. Well, let's do the election first. So we'll get that done. Now, as Marianne mentioned, we put together a nominating committee. We asked around kind of informally, but there's nothing carved in stone about the slate of officers that we've come up with. I know at least one person, Sunny Fridge, said, we could twist her arm. She'll be willing to serve as Sergeant of Arms again, or Sergeant at Arms, excuse me. But if somebody else would like to step into club leadership, you're welcome. Come on in. The water is wet. So, and one of the things a club like this is supposed to do is provide opportunities for members to step into leadership positions. So I will ask for nominations from the floor as we go through. But the slate that we prepared is President Joni Renee Layla, VP of Education, Graham Cairns, who is on a cruise ship giving a lecture right now, so not available to be here, but actually we have a couple of people who are on the list, but were not available to be here tonight. VP of Membership, Allison Blakeman, has agreed to step forward for that. VP of Public Relations, Krithika, has been doing the job for the past year, but still thinks that there's more to learn. And, she's had some work challenges, scheduling challenges with getting here on a regular basis, but there are other people in the club who can step in and help her out. Treasurer, Sarah, has been doing a great job, Sarah Idan, and we appreciate her willingness to continue in that role. And as I mentioned, the fabulous Sunny Fridge has been helping us out as Sergeant at Arms. So I'm going to go through those one by one. We have a nominating committee recommendation of Joni Laidlaw for president. Are there any nominations from the floor? Anybody want to nominate themselves or nominate another person? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? We're trying to keep with the formalities here.
Nominations for any role?
No, just for president right now.
Oh, for
Okay, so let's close the nominations. We'll ask the secretary to cast a single vote by acclamation. Can we do that? Can everybody just say yay?
Yes.
Yay, yay, Joni. All
Yeah.
right. VP of Education, the recommendation was Graham Cairns has agreed to serve. He has been part of this club since day one and has helped us out in leadership in many ways. Are there any other nominations for VP of Education? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Mr. Secretary, by acclamation, everybody say yay. Woo!
Yay.
Graham Cairns will be our new VP of Education starting in July. For VP of Membership, Allison Blakeman has agreed to step forward. Are there any other nominations for VP of Membership? Nominate yourself, nominate anyone else. Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Mr. Secretary, let the record reflect that by acclamation, we are electing Allison Blakeman to be our new VP of Membership. VP of Public Relations, Krithika. Is there a recommendation? I know there are other people here who could do it. Anybody else want to step up? It's okay to have a little bit of democracy break out if somebody else wants to nominate themselves or nominate another person. Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Hearing none. Mr. Secretary, let the record reflect that we are electing Krithika to serve another term as VP of Public Relations. Treasurer, Sarah Idahan. Anybody else want to keep us from going bankrupt? Sarah's done a good job of balancing the books. We appreciate all her efforts. But are there any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations?
Sold.
Hold. Mr. Secretary, please let the record reflect that we're nominating by acclamation Sarah Idahan to be our new treasurer. Now here's the big payoff one. Sunny did say, she would happily step aside if somebody else wants to step up. It's just we hadn't heard from anybody. We had several other people who we tried to talk into other things, and they said, well, maybe I could do Sergeant at Arms. Mary Ann said, well, I can step back to just be immediate past president, or maybe I could be Sergeant at Arms. But if Sunny's willing to do it, the recommendation was that she continue to do it. But if anybody else has a desire to be part of the leadership of this club, say so now. Any other nominations? Any other nominations?
I nominate Christine Staple Ebanks to be SAA.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sunny. I have so much to learn from you. But unfortunately, based on where I am now and with my son being in and out of hospital, I don't think it'll be good because I may not be available for all meetings right now. But I will circle back when all of that settles. Thank you.
All right. I actually was thinking of Christine too, as somebody that we hadn't necessarily tapped on the shoulder and tried to arm wrestle into leadership. So wonderful. But you know, we whenever you're ready, you let us know. With that, are there any
Hi.
other nominations? Any other nominations? One more time. Any other
I would
nominations?
like to nominate Kari Kong.
Okay.
Are you interested, Kari? Carrie?
For what
You're
position?
muted.
For
For
this is for Sergeant at
BPPO.
Arms.
I mean, Sergeant at Arms.
So it means opening the meetings, maybe helping with the self-introductions, other formalities like escorting people out of the room when we do a contest, or that can sometimes be a different person.
And
But
all training is available.
yeah,
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sunny. I do have a difficulty of taking up additional responsibility right now. I don't
I
mind
feel you.
helping. I don't mind helping or looking into future. Possibly,
Okay.
for sure. Yeah.
Okay. And last but not least, Jim Barber. But you already have a role, right, Jim? Barber?
Nope, I don't have an officer role,
Okay.
but no, I
That's embarrassing.
if I were
Nobody
going to
wants-
be an officer, I think Sergeant at Arms would be the most fun position to have. I would
Yeah.
thoroughly enjoy doing that. My personal situation right now just stops me from doing that. I'm sorry.
I hear you. I was
Thank
just
you.
trying to be democratic
Thank you,
because
Jim.
I love
I-
my position.
yeah.
But
I
we're-
I
appreciate
know
that.
it's nice to share. And
This
the
is
only other
supposed to
person
be
I
an
haven't asked
election,
is
but
Cecile.
it's like people trying to get
Okay.
out of doing the job.
It's the easiest role.
Mm.
Okay, I just wanted to try to find somebody.
All
But
right. Nice try, Dr. Sunny Fridge. We appreciate the attempt at democracy, but democracy has not broken out here tonight. I'll say it one more time. Any other nominations? Mr. Secretary, let the record reflect that Sunny has also been elected to serve for another term. All right.
Wow.
With that, we actually have a meeting to run.
David, there's one
yes.
more role
Treasurer?
to officially elect,
Treasure?
I'm sorry?
the secretary.
Oh my gosh. I think I left Dr. Byrne off the list. Dr. Byrne has agreed to continue
Oh.
as secretary, and
It takes a team.
I apologize.
Aw.
Are there any other nominations for secretary? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? I think you're stuck with it, Andy. Please,
Okay.
please record that with Toastmasters International, and the rest of you, we're going to be leaning on you over the next year. We want to get more folks involved, but there are other ways to be involved other than necessarily being an official officer. With that, we have a meeting to conduct. And
Mr. Toastmaster of the day, can I just have a little announcement, please?
sure.
Just a little one. Mike Woodall, please check your private messages, if you don't mind, sir. Send you a private message if you could respond. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day.
Okay. And actually, Andrew, a clarification for you. I don't think we have a prospective member speech tonight, do we? Or not tonight? Okay.
Not yet.
So that there are a couple of things I'd taken off the agenda to make sure that we had time for everything else. To keep us on time, speaking of that, we have Asil as our timer for today. Asil, can you explain how you will be performing the timer role?
Thank you so much, Mr. Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, I'm your timer for today. My role is to time our speaker speeches in 3 sections. Prepared speeches, table topics, and evaluation session. I'll be using our modern timing tools, which this is 3-color virtual backgrounds, green, yellow, and red. Green, for example, if I time prepared speeches from 5 to 7 minutes, so green will be shown at 5 minutes, yellow will be shown at 6 minutes, and red will be shown at 7 minutes. And you have 30 seconds to finish your speech. I'll be using Zoom's raise hand, so you can see me on the top left corner of your screen to help our meeting run efficiently and smoothly. Thank you
Okay.
so much. Back to you,
Thank you.
Mr. Toastmaster.
And one catch about the raise hand trick is, I think after you speak, the hand will automatically come down. You have to put it back up again.
Okay.
Keep yourself up there.
Okay.
All right. For a counter, my traditional nemesis, we have Sarah Idahen playing that role tonight. Sarah, can you tell us how you'll be performing the a counter duties?
Thank you, David. Toastmaster members aim to eliminate the use of words such as and so, and among others. We consider these as crutch words, and they undermine the message, and sometimes they distract the audience. The purpose of the a counter is to listen carefully and to keep track of when these words are used throughout the entire meeting. In addition, I will take note of additional distracting language. For instance, clutch words such as saying the word twice, I, you, or whatever you may say twice, and using repeated words and so to start sentences over and over. At the end of the meeting, when instructed to do so, I will give my report. Back to you, David.
Thank you very much. We also have another person listening, but listening to see if we talk pretty or talk wrong. And that would be our grammarian, Joni Renee. Can you explain a little bit about the grammarian's role, Joni?
As a grammarian, it's my job to make sure that we have good use of language. Today, we're doing a bit of modernism. So it does mean that you can have some leeway to create your own words. But I hope that you use modernism today in your speech. Now, it means a modern character or quality of thought, expression, or technique, a style of movement in the arts that aims to depart significantly from classical and traditional forms. So it's a strange mix of nostalgia and modernism. So I'm hoping that our language will reflect that today, and I'll give my report when called upon to do so. Back to you, David.
All right, terrific. So, moving on from that, we also have our watcher, who also agreed to be chat monitor. So he's doubling up a little bit. Jim Barber, can you explain those two roles, Jim?
With pleasure, Mr. Toastmaster. Both the chat monitor and the watcher are both roles that are modernistic in nature because they don't exist. Thank you. They don't exist in standard traditional meeting in person Toastmaster clubs. The watcher, Joni is the grammarian tonight, the verbal grammarian. I'm basically, as a watcher, I am a visual grammarian. I'm making sure that everyone, I don't care how you talk, but I'm interested in how you look. And so I'll be checking your lighting, your visual framing, and that sort of thing. The chat monitor, I'm basically watching the chat monitor as it goes by, the chat program, so that I can alert the Toastmaster to anything that he might need to know about if he doesn't happen to see it go by. And I'll also give a report at the end of the meeting on anything memorable that people may want to make note of. That's it. Mr. Toastmaster.
All right, thank you, Jim. And I also nominated myself to be vote counter, partly because I've been advertising this handy dandy digital voting tool. If you happen to have the app, you can use the app to vote. And I will also post a link in the chat So it's mostly automated, should be easy to use. And the reason I'm not making as big a deal out of it as I have at some other meetings is I'm doing a whole hour-long educational session on Thursday, which you're invited to stop by if you're interested in learning more about the digital tools. But with that, I think we're actually ready to start with some speeches. So this is kind of the heart of our meeting. We're going to have 3 speakers this evening. And after we have our 3 speakers, then we can get on with table topics and other elements of the meeting. And so our first speaker is one of our newer members. It is Christine Staple-Ebanks, is doing the Presentation Mastery Level 1, Introduction to Vocal Variety and Body Language. So we'll see how much she's able to move around within the frame. Her title is Role Reversal. I don't have intro details beyond that, but I think you're going to find out in just a moment. Please welcome Christine with Role Reversal.
Thank you so much, Mr. Toastmaster. Now, there's a certain look my mother gives. Do you know the one? It's the I brought you into this world and I'll take you out look. One look and boom, time reverses and I'm a child again. Even now in my middle years, having run organizations, led teams, advocated for others, and with grown children of my own, she gives me that look and I shrink. I'm 12 years old again, wondering if I did something wrong just by breathing. Growing up, my mother was a force, a single mother raising 6 rambunctious children. She ran her home like a 5-star general, and discipline was the order of the day. She especially loved the scripture about not sparing the rod to spoil the child. But there was love in our home. It was tough love. I remember sitting at the dining room table at 12. Her voice boomed from the stove. Don't you hear me speaking to you? Answer me when I talk to you. I opened my mouth to respond, and just as quickly came the follow-up. Are you talking back to me? Young lady, don't let me come over there and knock you into next week. I brought you into this world and I can take you out. As we got older, the spankings became fewer because by then she didn't need them. She had perfected that look, which had the same impact as discipline. That was a mother I grew up with. And if I can confess, for myself and my siblings, that look still rattles us. A psychologist once asked me, when you're making a decision, whose voice do you hear? I ask you that question. When you're making a decision, whose voice do you hear? Me? It's my mother's voice. Her voice shaped the girl I was, the woman I've become. It taught me discipline, diligence, responsibility, accountability, and family values. It also taught me caution. Sometimes it still silences me. But it taught me strength, because when you're raised by a woman who holds it all together through sheer will and unwavering faith, you learn to do the same. So what's it like now when our roles are reversed? I'm becoming more of a caregiver for her. And I'll be very honest, it's hard. As she ages, she struggles to let go of control. Everything has to fit into the boxes she created. Take the time she asked me to fly from Jamaica to Florida to take her to a doctor's appointment. She refused to get into the rental car because as far as she's concerned, it's a waste of money. Florida has a very good bus system. So we took the bus. She spotted someone she knew at the front. We were near the back. Now, most people, they would wave or nod. Not my mother. She called across the bus loud and proud and had a full-blown conversation. Then the person asked, is that your little daughter with you? Which high school does she attend? Without missing a beat, my mother replied, no, she's not a little girl. She's a big married woman with children. I felt like a child again. The passengers were duly entertained. She won't take a doctor's phone call or a government worker's phone call without me. Why? Because she doesn't want them saying anything she didn't say. In today's virtual world, that means I need to be on standby full time. Then a 5-minute conversation becomes a full-blown production because she gives information they never asked for. She answers questions in ways that only she understands. It's driving me up the wall. Sometimes I want to explode. Sometimes I do. So how do I cope? Some days, barely. But here's what grounds me. Recognizing that my mother is aging. She's letting go of the woman she was while trying to embrace the woman she's becoming. I'm grounded in that love. The sacrifices she made, the times she went without so we could have. Now I get to do something for her that she did for me. That kind of love, it roots you. And I've learned to let go of what she should say, to release the pressure to control it all, and instead to set boundaries that respects us both. This role reversal thing is tough. It can have us flipping between child and adult, sometimes in the same moment. But it teaches me grace. It teaches me that grace isn't just a prayer before a meal or the little girl who never washes her face. It is a practice, a posture. It's a way of showing up. In today's cancel culture, where people are quick to label others as toxic, where we're told to walk away from anything that steals our peace, and yes, sometimes that's necessary. But grace reminds us that loving an aging parent can be hard, but honoring them and honoring ourselves don't have to be at odds. So if you're in that in-between space, here are 3 things I found helpful. 1, pause before you respond. A moment of pause can create peace instead of pressure. 2, set loving boundaries. Boundaries are bridges that helps us show up with kindness without burning out. 3, find the humor in the hard, because some days if you don't laugh, you'll cry. Yes, this season will stretch you, but it doesn't have to break you. Let love lead. Set the boundaries you need. And remember, laugh when you can, because grace is not weakness, it is strength wrapped in softness. May you hold space for the child you were, the adult you are becoming, and who you're still becoming. Now, just in case you wonder, how do I deal with my mother these days? When she calls and I look over on the phone, thank God for caller ID, and I see her name, I pause. I take a breath and I say namaste before I answer. Hi, Mom. What's up today? So thank you so much for listening. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Right. Wonderful. We'll hear more in terms of feedback a little bit later, but thank you, Christine. And let us move on to our second speaker, Krithika. Devi Van Durem also has a speech for us tonight. She's working on Strategic Relationships Level 1, Mastering Fundamentals, Evaluation and Feedback, second speech. So this is one that she has given before. I don't have the title here, but we'll find out more about it unless you send it over to me in the chat in the last few seconds. I don't see it there, but I'll let you introduce yourself. And this is her coming back and delivering a speech for the second time, trying to improve on the first round. Krithika.
Yeah, David, this is going to be my first speech on evaluation and feedback. It's strategic relationship level 1. So the speech title is Stay Grounded. Yeah. Not everyone is out there to get you. This sometimes reminds us that there are no people when you are stuck. A significant mental safeguard that arises in a human, creating a temptation to label a malicious situation when incompetency or neglect is a popular response when one gets. This isn't to say that there isn't any malicious outcome or there isn't any malicious out there. Of course it does. Let me get you this with a real world example. A popular, renowned Australian telecommunication operator experienced a major network outage. It faced a complete system failure. On 8th November 2023, Optus, an Australian telecom provider, failed to provide emergency call access to all of its customers. Around 2,000 plus people got stranded without having an emergency call access. And 365 of like welfare checks which were got stopped. This was in 2023. The outage resulted in 10 million of its customers to go blank out for more than 12 to 14 hours. So, way back, the most fundamental thing that any telecom provider has to provide to their subscribers is the emergency call access. It's 000 in Australia. Way back in 2022, the same telecom operator, Optus, which is a wholly subsidiary of Singapore telecommunication company, Singtel, faced one another issue. And that was breaching of customers' data. Between September 17 to 20, it lost 10 million of its customer data, which was like not a quite good amount of work that a popular telecommunication operator has to face. A system failure and data breach. Confidentiality of the customers, the loyalty, the brand loyalty is being lost. There are two subsequent events that happened in a couple of years. These are not quite normal to endure by any customer. What happened generally when such outages and customer breach happens? There is always an ambiguity that arises between two parties, one from the organization end, another from the customer's end. We cannot arrive at a decision. We cannot judge. There is always a confusion which lies in this particular situation. There is also another important thing that any business dissection or a use case needs to consider. That is the correlation of the event, the timing when this event happens. When the two subsequent events happened in a couple of years and to the same operator, there is obviously a loss, a trust that the customer has. When polarizing topics, something like this, are discussed in meetings, passions can rise high that cloud the judgment. Not everyone is out there to get you out of the situation, or not everyone is out there to get you out. The formula here as a successful leader is to normalize the situation, bring down the nerves of their customers. It shouldn't be transactional or either cynical, like acting cynical. What is the relationship here with the correlation? The causation effect, because it happened very closely. Causation and correlation leads us to take a decision in a way that one has led to the other event. Actually, it isn't the case. The problem is grounded in a way that a lot of misunderstanding and erroneous conclusion can occur. Whenever such correlation timing is imperfect, extremists can often soften over time. The best which we select will always appear to be the worst. The worst, which doesn't have any value, will appear to be better with no action from your end. This is generally termed by a popular writer, Daniel Kahneman, in his book, Thinking Fast and Slow in a Very Different Way, using modernization and anti-fragility into consideration when you derive a business decision. I just want to rephrase this as a depressed person can be normalized just having a couple of months of good exercise. But the same depressed person can also be normalized by allowing him to kiss the cat without having a regular exercise. So, correlation matters. Over to you, David.
All right. Thank you, Kritika. One more speech. One more speech. Did we save the best for last? Well, that'll be determined in the voting later. But we have Joni Renee Laidlaw. She's in level 2, learning your style, understanding your communication style. and the title is Foot and Mouth Disease. So apparently that's her communication style. We're gonna be learning more about that. You know, this technology stuff has its trade-offs. I'm asking her in the chat, is there anything else you would like me to say when I introduce you? And she answered yes. As far as I can tell, that's the last thing she told me. Maybe I just lost it in the chat thread somewhere, but foot and mouth disease, Joni Renee Laidlaw.
All right, before we start, we need to change the spotlight, please. Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Timer, it's not your turn yet, and this is not a part of the speech, but it actually should be. All right, timer, it's on you. And yes, David, there was more, but it's fine. Everybody knows I'm VPE and controlling. Have you ever met that person? Decisive, competitive, independent, and confident. Hi, my name is Joni Renee Laidlaw. Nice to meet you. Now, if you go on Toastmasters International currently, it would actually say, get this, I'm not a direct communicator. Could have fooled me. I've spent most of my life battling foot and mouth disease. What's that you're asking? I can see the look on your face. What does she mean by foot and mouth disease? It means if I wasn't supposed to say it, somewhere along the line, that independent, decisive. You know, someone said know it all to me one day, and I thought, of course I know it all. That's the point. That's not an insult. I know it all. Thank you for the compliment. There I go again. Foot in mouth. I came to Toastmasters, I think probably just for that reason, to find a way to pry my foot out of my mouth so that I don't keep kicking my teeth in. And it's apparent it worked, because when I did my evaluation this time, guess what it says? Can anybody take a wild guess what it said? It stated I am initiating. Can you imagine? Sociable, enthusiastic, energetic, spontaneous, and fun-loving. All right, I'm gonna admit that the manic pixie dream girl side of me tends to be that way. And yes, when you meet me initially, that tends to be my forward presenting, because, well, I am spontaneous and energetic. Does that stop my foot from being placed somewhere lodged deep in the back of my throat? Because somewhere in the happy-go-lucky, I forgot that there's a reason why they call Jamaicans the nicest, rudest people you will ever meet. Because I just think it's normal to say, yo, my girl, you get fat, you know? Don't worry, I'll translate. To say, you've put on weight. as a form of compliment. I mean, the last time I saw you, you did look draw down. I'll translate. You look kind of skinny. So it made you look sick. But now you look fat. You look rosy. You look juicy and there. Does anybody have a crowbar I could borrow for this foot in mouth disease? See, even when I'm being nice and sweet and approachable and kind, some way, somehow, I find a way to say the thing that I shouldn't say. Now, coming up a quick second in the evaluation that Toastmasters did, it said I was supportive, that I'm calm, steady, approachable, sincere, gentle. I guess I can be supportive depending on the circumstance, because if anything ever happens, I'm the first person who will be there to help you. I will listen to anything that you say. I will judge. There goes my foot again. All right, I won't lie and tell you I'm not going to judge, but I won't hold it against you, because the whole point of support is to be there. And obviously, if you're going to try to be empathetic, I'm going to put myself in your shoes, and that might come with a little bit of judgment, but holding it against you is the important part. But does that mean even in my state of supportive communication, my foot will not end up in my mouth? No! Because I will find a way to say the thing that I should not say. I will find the moment when you are down and hurting to happen to bring up the fact that, that this is a pattern that keeps happening. And can I suggest, and just like that, the analytical steps in? You see, my hyperfixation is humans and how they relate. After all, I've always thought I was an alien trying to navigate and understand how humans do things. So right at the point where I'm about to give advice, it becomes... Basically, the pattern of information is this. You constantly put yourself in this situation over and over again. And let me tell you something about you that you may not know, but in a loving way. See, when the analytical gets mixed with the supportive, I've found that people believe that you're not supporting their feelings. So no, I've gotten to asking, do you want the journey that is going to support your feelings? And don't worry, I've practiced this. Oh, that's so sad. It happened again. Really? Do you want the problem solver? Let me tell you that this is the 15th time in the past 3 months that the same thing has happened, and it's because you have XYZ. Or do you want the direct communicator? This really does not change the price of rice or anything for you, because you're actually crying over spilt milk and none of this really matters. All of those, however, have not solved my ultimate problem. See, even with the modernism of mixing the styles, it doesn't mean that my foot does not somewhere, because innately it's me and it's a part of me that my foot does not end up lodged somewhere in my mouth during the course of the conversation. I'm going to ask everyone to do me a favor. I've been working on small talk, not very effectively, let me just tell you, because that is the ultimate time, because I like deep conversations, to bring up some arbitrary fact about something that nobody but me particularly cares about, just looking for the eyes of the person that goes, oh my gosh, you know that too. Anybody with an advice, a crowbar, a tool, a hammer, some pliers, toothpick maybe, something to help me pry my foot permanently from my mouth, please message me in the chat and let me know. Back to you, our Toastmaster of the day.
Right. Well, thank you, Madam President-elect. That was fun. That was fun. May I confirm with the timer? I believe all speakers were within time. Correct. I see a nod. And I will post a link in the chat that you can use to vote Guests are welcome to vote. That means that it is time to move on to table topics. And to lead our table topics exercise today, we have Toastmaster Carrie Kong. Carrie, the floor is yours.
Hello. The floor is mine. Definitely looking for it. Just give me 1 second. I think everyone can see my screen.
It says started sharing. Oh, there we go.
Okay, that's good. Good evening, everyone. Today, our topic is about modernism. How is the modern world changed? When we talk about modern, I often think about modern society, modern cities, modern art, which is a little bit abstract that will bring us into the future. So today I'm going to challenge you in our table topics. The topics today, they won't be as easy and as straightforward as most of the table topics that you see in your other sessions, or maybe it might never appeared in the past, or it might appear, but I wasn't there. But I'm definitely looking forward to more of your creativity today. Today, whatever the table topics comes into your mind, don't be afraid. Don't overthought. Don't overthink. Just talk about what you think. Just give us some innovation, creativity that would definitely drive the modernism of what we are coming today. So to start with, I'm really looking forward to invite our guests. I would like to ask if Mike is available to give us a table topic today. Mike?
Me? Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Am I the only mic here? It'd be the first if I am.
You're the only Mike and you're the first one.
All right. Go ahead. Hit me.
Okay. Invent a product that solves a problem that you have. Invent a problem that solves the problem that you have. Mike, to you now.
Invent a problem.
A product.
A product. Oh,
Yes.
I thought you said invent a problem. I was having a problem with that. Invent a product that solves the problem that I'm having. Well, you know, it's interesting that you chose me for this particular question, because I will tell you, if I could choose a product, it would be, I would say a product that would allow me the foresight, the intellectual capability. Maybe it's a pill, maybe it's something else that gets me to fully comprehend and understand what my sweetheart is trying to communicate to me. Sometimes I get traveling down these rabbit holes and I don't know where the rabbit hole is going to end. I believe that in the first part of the conversation that I'm actually supposed to reply to the question that is presented to me. However, I have learned the hard way that the question that is presented is not actually the end of what she's looking for. So I'm traveling down these rabbit holes, and every answer that I give is not quite the right answer because I'm asked again and then again. And then finally I realize, well, I'm not answering the question right. So what I've determined is she's not asking a question that she wants an answer to. She's asking questions that she already knows the answer to. And so I have to travel down all of these rabbit holes to finally come up with what I should have known in the first place after 17 years. But today, it's still the same. So if I could take a pill that would make me genius material, that would just make me absorb and know exactly what I'm supposed to do in that moment, I'd take it. So that's the product that I would create for me to solve the problem that I have. Thank you, Madam Topic Master.
Thank you so much, Mike. Wow, 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 impressive. I would like to say, I wish I could have that product too, but I don't have such a big problem as you because I am the one who's creating the problems. I'm the one who's creating the troubles. So this is a very creative answer because often we think about creations and innovation. We think about we have a problem. Maybe my coffee mug is too hot. So maybe I want something to cool it down, but also is something that's like tying to your everyday life, just as your wife. Hopefully you'll be able to tell her that that's something that you want to invent. Next, we'll come to another creative question. Can I get like Joe the guest? Are you available to talk?
Oh.
Hello? Yes, so I'm going to give you the next question. If shoes can do one more thing besides walking, what would it be? If shoes could do one more thing besides walking, what would it be? Your time, Joe.
Well, I think the shoes, they would just be dancing shoes. They'd be tap dancing and doing your jazz stuff all around the room. I think those Healy things would be pretty good. They'd be like those automatic flying machines, like the flying cars they promised us in 2012. And like that guy on the left there, we'd just be flying through the air and having a great time. We'd be able to kick down doors and solve problems. And our shoes would basically, we could walk on our hands, and our shoes would basically be able to do all the stuff our hands could do, and that would be pretty cool. So I think it would be a unique world if we had some shoes that could do a lot of different things and were multifunctional than just, being footwear to walk around a parking lot and other places. So they would also help be like automatic foot healers. If your foot was in pain or it was broken, it would just automatically fix it, and your foot would be completely fixed and you'd never have a broken foot again. So that's what my shoes would do for me.
Wow, that's creative. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Joe. If I were going to create a shoes, maybe I'll create shoes that like they can show different colors. When I have different tempers, they'll have colors. So my husband will know what my mood is going to be like. So that solves my like one of the problem as well. But definitely I agree with you. A lot of like multi-purpose and fix up the broken shoes, a lot of it will be helping too, for sure. So next one, can I get Dr. Sunny? Dr. Sunny, this is your question. Design a workplace that makes boring meetings fun. Design a workplace that makes boring meetings fun. Your time now, Dr. Sunny. Dr. Sunny, you're muted.
Testing, testing, testing. If I were to design a workplace that makes boring meetings fun, I'd probably take a page from Apple or Google. From what I've seen from movies and articles and promotions, they really make it fun, a fun place to work. They have these pods that you can get in after a hard, long day. Wouldn't I love that if my university sent one of those to my home where I work at home? And when I get tired of grading papers or speeches, I just take my nap and it would have some massage. So I go, woo, 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 and I feel better. And if that wasn't enough, I'd love it if they could have chocolate because chocolate makes anything better. So you could take, instead of a smoking break, you could take a chocolate break and go to the break room and they have all sorts of chocolate, teas to drink, and coffee for those who really need that oomph. That would really make my day. And I probably could think of a lot of other things, but they already have those now. They're a little bit modernistic these days because they let you have work days at home as well as coming to work. So I'd like to also just add Fridays off. You get a day off. You get a day off. You get a day off. And that's what I would do to design a workplace that makes boring meetings fun. Because if you can make it a fun place, then that is exciting. And who doesn't want a little excitement? Back to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sunny. Fantastic. That is what we're imagining nowadays with modernism, right? When we really want the boring meetings and more fun, especially now we're using virtual Toastmasters, we need a workplace or maybe at our home, maybe in the office that's like giving us coffees, like relaxation, massage. I wonder who is going to do that, but maybe you can suggest to for some companies and then we can make this workplace much funnier. Okay, so the next one,
Carrie,
yeah.
just to stay on time, we probably need to make that the last one,
Yes.
actually.
Okay, so let's
So,
do the last one, and I'm going to do a
well,
little.
the last one was the last one.
Oh, so
We
the
need to
last one is the okay. So
we need
thank
to
you
move
so
on.
much, and then we have like end our session over here. Definitely creative. So be creative and make our societies better. And this is what I want to show you guys. So thank you so much, and back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
All right. Hopefully you get to use your other questions another time. Can I confirm with the timer? I believe all contestants are qualified. So I'm going to post a link in the chat for voting again. But if you had opened it previously, you should get the new ballot or click refresh if it doesn't show up immediately. With that, we are actually ready to move on to the third portion of our meeting, the all-important portion where members get immediate feedback. And to lead us through that, we have our general evaluator, Andrei Smolenko. Andrei.
Thank you very much, David. I love this portion of the meeting, general evaluation and evaluations. So we have 3 prepared speeches today and 3 evaluators. The time for evaluators, just to remind us all, is 2 to 3 minutes. Is it right, Asil? Yes, 2 to 3 minutes is the time for evaluators. So the first evaluator is Marianne Grady. And Marianne will be evaluating a speech given by Christine Staple-Ebanks. Marianne, take it away.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, and especially Christine. The purpose of your speech tonight was to use vocal variety and body language to enhance your speech. Everybody, did she use that? Did she accomplish her goal? I say yes, in a big way. Christine, you're a speaker that we all want to listen to. Your preparation and your polish give you the authority we need from you as a subject matter expert. Your stories are relatable, and your content and structure are wonderful. In tonight's speech, you had many memorable phrases. I brought you into this world, and I can take you out. It roots you. And you had great gestures with that one, especially loud and proud. Role reversal is tough. Your gestures were good, but not always purposeful. And I would challenge you to reduce the amount of gestures that you use so they don't become distracting. Also, you frequently pointed at the audience, and sometimes that can be seen as aggressive or confrontational. So I would suggest that you use open gestures so that it's more friendly and inviting when you are pointing towards the audience. Now you you can point in a speech sometimes. It's not a problem, but when you use pointing, use it very sparingly and with great intention. Now, at the end, you spoke about honoring your mother. And that let us know that even though the rest of the speech you were telling us how doggone tough she was, you had a very sweet relationship with her. And that was really, really nice. And it was just sweet. I loved it. I did. And I make one final suggestion to you is that when you close this beautiful speech and you answer the phone and say, "Hi, Mom, what's up?" that you just stop right there. It's impactful. Everyone doesn't need what came after that, because nothing else is necessary. I totally enjoyed your talk tonight, and I look forward to watching your Toastmaster journey unfold and hearing lots more speeches from you. So thank you, Christine, for a beautiful speech. And back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Marianne. Just a reminder for all of us that we will be voting for the best evaluator as well. So please listen to all evaluators and then you will be able to make your mind up. The second evaluator for today is Dr. Andrew Byrne, who will be evaluating Kritika's speech. Dr. Andrew Byrne, please take it away.
Thank you very, very much, Andre. And especially thank you, Kritika. You gave a very thoughtful speech. You had visually, you centered on your frame. You had good facial movements as you were talking. And most importantly, you used your voice as an instrument. You covered the four main principles of voice. You had vocal dynamics, highs and lows. You had some pauses, although your nature of speaking is quick. And just like in the United States, where you have a variation of how fast people talk, your natural native language is very fast. So you're like in the Southwest, people speak between 10 to 30 words a minute. In New York, you speak about 100 to 140 words a minute with gusts of up to 400. You had that sense of fast speaking when I was listening to your talk, and you had many, many, many fine points. And if you could just slow down a little bit, it would be helpful. You would really see that if you used your speech with Udemy, because Udemy counts your words per minute as well as everything else. So if you delivered it to Udemy, you'd have a better sense of how fast am I going, am I taking pauses. Your pitch was good, and your pace we talked about. Let's talk about some of the other things that you did great. You had good content. You had organized thought process. The only thing perhaps that you messed up on, not really messed up, but if you were in a contest, you would get points off for it. You didn't have a solid summary of your talk and the key points to take away or a call for action. In contest, those things would cost you up to 15%. So I just want you to think about that, because you had great content and great structure, but think about how you ended off, make people really think about that speech. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Andrew, for your recommendations for Kritika's speech. And we're moving on. The third evaluator for today is Mike Woodall. Mike is going to evaluate Johnny Laidlaw's speech. Mike, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much. I'm pleased to give Joni her evaluation. You know, her speech tonight is about understanding communication style. Understanding communication style has nothing to do with uhs and ums. It has nothing to do with dramatic pauses. It has to do with your style of communication. And Joni, your style of communication is, well, I can briefly say you're always authentic. You are always genuine. And you're wrapped up in this embodiment of enjoyment and fun, no matter what presentation you give. Your communication style is on purpose, informative, And yet again, I'm going to say it, fun. That's just who you are. The foot and mouth disease, which is the title of your presentation, I didn't see any foot and mouth disease in your presentation. I believe any time that I've witnessed you in your 5 to 7 minute presentations, 10-minute presentations, or whatever they are, there is no foot and mouth disease. However, you have assisted me in several projects outside of this club. Last year, I think it was about a year ago this time, you assisted me with putting on an open house here in Evansville, Indiana. And our first speaker was the president of Toastmasters International in person. When you can go from fun and entertainment to get to the point in a microsecond. So your communication style is one that leaves every member of your audience informed and having a great time. There's nothing I can see that I would say would improve your presentation because it's your communication style that I'm evaluating on. And I have nothing to add that would lift you to an elevation higher than where you're at. Thank you, Joni. It's been a pleasure evaluating you.
Thank you, Mike, for your evaluation. And with Mike's speech, it concludes the evaluation part of the meeting. Madam Timer, could you tell us whether all 3 evaluators are qualified for voting? And I have notes from Asil, thank you. So all 3 evaluators qualified, and David is going to put a link in the chat so we can cast our votes for the best evaluator for today. And while we're doing that, I'm going to move to another exciting part of the meeting. Reports, and reports once more. And with the first report, I would like to call our counter, Sarah Idahan. Sarah, what is your report?
Thank you, General Evaluator Andre. In the beginning, because our recording started early, I started doing the counting early. So in the beginning, Mary Ann had 3 R's, and David had about 5 R's, a few no's, and a little so here and there. Acel, in her speech, only 3 R's. Christine had no filler words, no audible pauses, no R's. Carrie had 1 R. And then I heard the word like. And I also heard that in a couple of more people as well, using the word like this is okay, like I was okay, or like, just using like as a filler word. Sunny, no filler words. Marianne, in your evaluation, no filler words. Andy, no filler words, but you had like, you used like a little bit. And Mike, no filler words in your evaluation. So all in all, it seems like we're doing a great job in reducing our filler words and distracting our audience. Back to you, General Evaluator Andre.
Thank you very much, Sarah, for your thorough report. Quite helpful, this is what I find from our counter. The next report we're going to hear is from Johnny Laidlaw. Johnny been working on grammarian's role today. Johnny, please tell us what we did well, what we didn't.
We had amazing use of language today. I cannot state, I can only pick one phrase because there were so many memorable phrases. And there wasn't much brutalization of grammar either. So I didn't have much to pick out as grammarian to correct. What I can say, though, is that I used the word of the day, and it was a very difficult word of the day to use. So I give props and kudos for the modernism of including the modernistic approach from Jim and Sonny in utilizing the word of the day. Back to you, Andrew.
Thank you very much, Jenny. And now we move into another exciting report, actually two reports from the same person. Can you believe that? And the first report from the very same person, from Jim Barber. I think we're going for the chatty report. Jim, what is that about, chatty report?
I will try to give my two reports in one in about under a minute, if I can possibly do it, Mr. General Evaluator. Let's start with the chat monitor report. There were two things of significance there. One, David announced or reminded everybody that he's giving a master class on his Toastmasters app Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. You are all encouraged to attend. And also in the chat were numerous birthday wishes to David. And so we'll just do it one more time. Happy birthday, David. Yay. And let's see, go now to the Watcher report. Let me see if I can do this. There we are. Everybody did great. Of course, we're pros here. Our lighting, our visuals, everything looked good. But I want to give special commendation to Christine for her background. That is one of the best backgrounds that I have seen in a long time. The reason being, what's the most important thing in her presentation? Her, Christine, and that's what we see there. It's not cut down in a little corner of the picture or anything like that. It's there. She's almost front and center, right? Love that. But who is speaking? We're going to forget that if, after a while, you may forget who is doing. We're reminded. There's her name right up there. It's there in front of us. So the background is not distracting, but it has the important things for it. Christine, that is great. I would love that background, and I'm going to refer back to that many other times. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Jim, for those insightful reports. And as a general evaluator, I'm mindful of time and I'll be brief. We are an advanced club, and I think we have proven to be an advanced club, well prepared, organized. I had to call a few people in the last minute to ask to do the roles, then they jump on it straight away. So remember, in Toastmasters Earth, that's excellent. A few things to improve that would help our meetings to run even in better manner. That would be first, rename yourself as soon as you know your role. Please, you log in, rename it. It helps a lot. And let's try to run this meeting in timely manner. Start in time and finish in time so we don't steal time from anyone else. That would be my report, and a special praise not only for the Toastmaster of the day, but to our table topics master, Carrie Kong. Carrie, please come back again. I would like to see the rest of your table topics. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day, David Carr.
All right. And thank you to everybody who did squeeze things down to make it run within time. I think we'll go over by a minute or two, but not too much worse than that. As vote counter, I want to thank everybody for actually voting. Enough votes came in that I did not have to serve as the tiebreaker on things. I can tell you that for table topics, the best table topic of the day was Mike Woodall. The best evaluator of the day, Marian Grady. And the best speaker of the day, and there were three very different speeches. I don't know how people made up their minds, but Christine Stapley-Banks has the best speaker of the day award here, and I'm sure is going to go on to World Championship and other little details like that. Let me pass it back to our president, Marianne Grady, to wrap up the meeting.
Well, that was a fun meeting, right? And we got a lot accomplished. We got our election done, and we have a brand new slate of officers coming in. And we had fabulous speeches tonight. I am so happy when the light rolls out like that. I will remind you that next week, Luisa Montalvo, the world champion of public speaking, will be here. And her talk is entitled Turn Your Lesson into Your Story. So I hope that you'll tune in to hear her speak. And please go and sign up for future roles. So we're not scrambling at the last minute. I know that everyone's jumping in at the last minute, but it would be nice if it was already done. So please sign up in advance. And a good way to do that is figure out what you need, what your goals are, and then pick some roles accordingly. Now, I'll end the meeting really quick because it's time. And what I will do is ask Joel, is he still